mwe Museveni sebo ffe tetuli bazzukulu bo. Tetuli bazzukulu bo. Ffe tuli bannayuganda abaagala eddembe lyaffe, abaagala ensi yaffe, abeetegeerera, abaagala okubeera mu nsi. Tuditamininge ebiseera byaffe eby'obukadde. Tetwagala kutusalirewo biseera byaffe eby'obukadde kuba si ffe twakusalirawo.
I spoke to him in hiding this morning. I asked him what his plan was. He said, my plan is to stay alive. And that means keeping out of the way of Muhoozi.
Imagine that. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not just mere allegations. We're going to show you receipts one more time. How Muhoozi, the commander of our defense forces, has made threats against Bobi Wine's life, and why Bobi Wine is actually trying. He literally means it when he says, I'm trying to stay alive.
Muhoozi is President Museveni's son. He's the head of the army. He has threatened to kill Bobi Wine in the past. This is not a story which has been getting a lot of attention.
Bobi knows that the only person protecting him from me is my father. If Musei, which means old man, was not there, I would cut off his head today. That is the commander of our defense forces.
And there have also been reports of police using tear gas and bullets against civilians after the polls, with a number of people dead.
Using tear gas and bullets, with a number of people dead. How many?
The police admitted this, but they did not say how many people were killed.
Oh, I'm surprised. The police admitted this, but they did not ascertain how many number of people were killed. I wonder why. Is it because the number is going to be disputed immediately?
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of the America, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might watch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Marissa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Marissa Live. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a lot of people ask me, where is Bobi Wine? First of all, I want to be clear. I don't know where Bobi Wine is, but we're going to have to listen or interrogate why do we see this silence from Bobi Wine. What is the Ugandan government saying at this particular moment? And what did Bobi Wine say before he disappeared or he escaped from folks in the metro who are trying to abduct him? But I should say we're very lucky. At least we have somebody who has tried to look for Bobi Wine, and this is Channel 4 News' Lindsay Hilsam. Remember that lady? We looked at her interview with Museveni a few weeks ago where he really pressed Museveni on his baseless allegations about Bobi Wine being funded by the West. Museveni could not substantiate those claims, and she kept on pushing. She kept on pushing. So she's been able to try to talk to Bobi Wine, and it was, I think, the shortest interview in history. I'll go on and play you this. This is what she says. Listen.
Well, Yoweri Museveni, it was the 7th time he stood for election. You know, he's 81 years old now. I first met him in 1986 when he was a rebel leader, where he told me that the problem with Africa was leaders who stayed in power for too long.
Wow. The problem of Africa were leaders who overstayed in power for too long.
Well, you can take that as you will. Bobi Wine, who is the main opposition leader, who claims there was rigging and that he did much better than the official results show, he fled after his house was attacked by paramilitaries, security forces, not quite clear who, last night. I spoke to him in hiding this morning. I asked him what his plan was. He said, my plan is to stay alive. And that means keeping out of the way of Muhoozi.
Imagine that. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not just mere allegations. We're going to show you receipts one more time. How Muhoozi, the commander of our defense forces, has made threats against Bobi Wine's life, and why Bobi Wine is actually trying. He literally means it when he says, I'm trying to stay alive.
Muhoozi is President Museveni's son. He's the head of the army. He has threatened to kill Bobi Wine in the past. This is not a story which has been getting a lot of attention. even though I think it is very critical because of Venezuela, because of Iran, because of Greenland. But let's not take our eyes off it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll go on and show you what I commented about. And this is when Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the son of the president, made threats against the life of Bobi Wine. This is what he had to say. Read with me here. He addresses him as Kabobi, which is little Bobi Wine. Loosely, you can interpret it that way. Kabobi knows that the only person protecting him from me is my father. If Musei, which means old man, was not there, I would cut off his head today. That is the commander of our defense forces, making threats about a political opponent of his dad. This language has been normalized. He's got a few sections of people in Uganda who support him, who see him as the one who can lead Uganda to a golden age. And I know they're not motivated by ideologies or morality or anything or principle. Absolutely not. It is money and proximity to power. That's what they want. That's why he's, if you looked at many of people surrounding him, it is the elite class who have plundered Uganda in ways you can't imagine. So he's made threats against Bobi Wine, and this shouldn't be taken as a joke at one time. If you're not from Uganda, if you're from Uganda, you're familiar with this picture. But if you're not, you might not understand this. This is Bobi Wine's bodyguard, Eddie Mutwe, who was abducted on the orders of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He had not committed any crime. And then after abducting him, he got him tortured. After torturing him by electrocuting him and using pliers to pull off his skin and beating his joints and everywhere, Muhoozi Kainerugaba boasted. He posted this on social media when we were wondering where Eddie Mutwe was. He posted that on social media and said, hey, I've got him in my basement. I'm teaching him my mother language, Runyankole. Now, it's very sad. That is my mother language. I'll show you here what he posted. It says, Comrade Emutwe has been violently abducted from Chiwango village in Mukono, and this was a few months shortly after the abduction of Eddie Mutwe by armed men in Special Force Command uniform traveling in Toyota van, commonly known as drone. And then Muhoozi Kainerugaba writes and says, he's in my basement learning Runyankore. You are next. So he's made threats. This is a very disturbed, mentally disturbed man. I feel sad for him. Does it give me anger? Absolutely not. But the most dominant emotion I have for him is sadness. You can't behave that. That's not how normal human beings behave. Who boasts about torturing and killing people? I've only known that trait to be a character of terrorists. But if the commander of a defense force is going to come out and say, hey, I'm going to kill you, and people are clapping for him, you just have to really, really feel sad. You have to contextualize when Bobi Wine says, I'm trying to survive. On the day the African Union rubber stamped the victory, I'm air quoting that, victory of Museveni, two of fellow leaders in the National Unity Platform's Bobi Wine's political party had been abducted. Two leaders. Up to now, we do not know. We're asking about the whereabouts of Bobi Wine, but two of his deputies are. We don't know. We cannot tell where they are. Mama Lina Zedriga, the deputy NUP president in northern Uganda, and Mama Jolie Jacqueline Tukamushaba, the deputy president of the NUP for western Uganda. So while we are wondering where Bobi Wine is, where are these people? We've seen videos. People have told us how they were abducted. Gun-wielding man came and, ordered them to enter drones violently, abducting them. So Bobi Wine says, I am trying to survive. I am trying to stay alive. That's what it really means. But shame upon the African Union. How do you endorse, rubber stamp a fraudulent election? I mean, I do not understand. And this is my greatest disappointment at this particular moment in Africa. We are bereft of leaders. And we should see the rise of new phase of leaders that really understand the African values. I don't understand. And every time I hate, and I'm going to make this comment, I know you might be tired of this comment. I hate it when every time I hear people say the problem of Africa is the influence of the West. The white man is keeping Africa in this kind of a situation. Absolutely not. There's no white man that told Museveni to kill people. Now I'm talking about the abduction of 2 of Bobi Wine's fellow leaders in the NUP. 10 people were killed in the home of Bobi Wine's deputy president in central Uganda, or in Buganda. Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi. 10 people killed. They were at his house. Museveni is now he's not even offering any sympathy to the bereaved families. Absolutely not. What he's done is call those people terrorists. You can go back and watch the video I posted a few hours ago, I think like 9 or 10 hours ago. You see, these people whom Museveni is referring to as terrorists, these helpless mothers who were just there. They were polling agents who were making sure that they're following up on what they had done that day. But because Museveni was hell-bent on making sure that the deputy president of Bobi Wine loses his position and influence in the Ugandan parliament, he gave what you could define as a blanket immunity to any person who can go to the depth of violence to make sure that Mwanga Chivumbi doesn't win that election. So, I feel sad. We're asking about Bobi Wine like we should. But how many lives of people have been ignored? Those that were killed, and many others that have been abducted. I'll go on and show you the report from this lady. I think what she says here encapsulates what we have seen, or what we've so far we have witnessed in Uganda.
After Uganda's contested elections, it seems like not much has changed in the country. President Yoweri Museveni is up for a 7th term in office, and the opposition is alleging fraud. Now, opposition leader Robert Chagulani, aka Bobi Wine, posted a video saying that his house was raided by the police and that he's currently in hiding. The police have, however, denied any attempt to arrest him. Now, human rights groups raised concerns over the widespread intimidation of the opposition ahead of the elections. And there have also been reports of police using tear gas and bullets against civilians after the polls, with a number of people dead.
Using tear gas and bullets, with a number of people dead. How many?
The police admitted this, but they did not say how many people were killed.
Oh, I'm surprised. The police admitted this, but they did not ascertain how many number of people were killed. I wonder why. Is it because the number is going to be disputed immediately? They'll be like, no. Are they wanting to say we killed only 20 or 10 like they usually do?
Killed. Now, there's been quite heavy security in most parts of Kampala, with police patrolling the streets and especially those areas that were affected by clashes. The government also shut down the internet for 5 days. It's back up, but it's made it very difficult to get any information, and it's also made reporting very difficult for us.
Exactly. Not surprised. That is Museveni. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to play you a certain video here. I received it from a few people, and it really tells us the mind of Museveni. Because you wonder, is this man okay? Listen to, this is him talking about the opposition and people who could have different ideas on how the country should be led. This is Museveni back in the 90s.
Everybody would now settle down and
says everybody now should settle down.
Forget about alternative arrangements for Uganda. There will be no alternative arrangements for Uganda for a long time to come.
There will be no alternative arrangements for Uganda for a long time to come. and this trend has actually, now I understand. Museveni, I've seen a number of times where Museveni addresses people and then he says the most bizarre, sad stuff, cruel stuff, and people laugh and clap for him. Like he was telling them about how he's going to enslave them. They laughed and clapped for him. Reminds me of when Bobi Wine was abducted and tortured by thugs within the security agencies. And when Museveni was told about the unfortunate events, Museveni came out and said, well, they've told me Bobi Wine was tortured. They beat him up, but I asked them, let me see how he's been beaten. And I found that they had beaten him so well. And people laughed and clapped. When Museveni was talking about the violation of his political opponent's human rights, people clapped and laughed. And now it takes me back to this. Okay. He said in them there will be no alternative ideas for Uganda for a very long time.
I think it would be it would save a lot of effort if people could settle down and work with the national resistance movement and we build the country. If you
settle down and work with us, we are the only one who can build Uganda.
have got illusions in your head, that's your own business.
If you've got illusions in your head, that's your own business. What does he call illusions? Another person, coming to be president and probably change the direction of a country in a better way. He doesn't think. That's illusion.
This revolution is irreversible. You cannot reverse it.
It is reversible, and I'll tell you that. Martin Luther King, today we celebrate Martin Luther King Day. He reminds us that the arc of moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Change takes a long time, but it eventually happens. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be reversed. And people are clapping. I've never understood why people usually clap for such kind of statements, but hey, who am I to judge them? That's their thing. Okay, what else? This was before Bobi Wine, before the election. This is what Bobi Wine had to tell us about the election and what it's going to be people's response in case the election is rigged. But listen to his first response immediately.
What is your next course of action if, in fact, we do see an alleged rigging of the election? What is your plan next?
First and foremost, it is interesting to see that everybody in Uganda and outside Uganda sees impending rigging. But what we have called upon the people of Uganda is to take charge of their country, not to leave it to just politicians, not even to myself. We went into this election amidst all the violence and brutality because we wanted to reach out to the people of Uganda and awaken them. We know that when the people of Uganda rise to the occasion and demand for what is rightly theirs, they will get it. This has happened in Madagascar, it has happened in Sudan, it has happened in Egypt. It is happening in Iran, and it definitely can happen in Uganda.
Absolutely. Isn't it funny? Not even funny, but sad that we're going into an election, but everyone is aggressing for an impending rigging. Some things that you expect in an election is somebody to rig. Like it's been normalized. It's in the DNA of our political system. Rigging. But I like what he says when he says that, we should take charge of our own country. And now that brings me to a post that was made by Jimmy Spire Sentongo. I'm going to have you read with me here. I've had people say, Mordecai, you should be doing this. Mordecai, do this. I want to pause and ask them, what are you doing? It looks like you know what I'm supposed to be doing. Then how about you? Why do you think I should be the one to do that for you? Okay, Jimmy writes here, Dr. Jimmy Spire Sentongo, very, very wonderful activist in Uganda and philosophy professor. The problem with coming up to fight bad governance in Uganda is that many people will look at it as your exclusive responsibility to do so. They will then sit aside and start theoretically analyzing and criticizing your efforts, what you are doing right or not, while they are affected by the same problems you are fighting. Isn't funny? It is not their primary duty to do anything about their problems beyond playing like linesmen and disinterested scholars. Even under harsh political environment, they will call you weak and mock you for being beaten, by a system, you should be joining hands to face. That is how even those who try end up quietly withdrawing. And here's a very sad paragraph. My attitude is to respect, support, and encourage those who try to do what I can't do, but that I find necessary to be done. Let everyone add what they can, not just feeling entitled to being saved by another perfect person. Please, we should be reminded of what we're supposed to be doing. Bobi Wine has brought us this far. Asabye brought us this far. What are we doing? That's the most important question. A man is on a run to survive, and all you do is offer this armchair analysis. Oh, you should have done this. How about you throw yourself in the ring? And if you can't, then please, will you just shut up? Because your lectures, the unsolicited lectures, do not help. Unless you're willing to offer yourself, go on the front line. People will listen. A man has faced all types of mockery, ridicule, violence, sabotage, derailment from the government, confiscation, killing of his people and friends, and many of them are still in prison. Others were disappeared forever. Many have been murdered in cold blood. But you still feel this confidence to sit down and analyze what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be. How about you? What are you doing? Nobody's coming to save us but ourselves. I will repeat this. Nobody's coming to save us but ourselves. Until you do something. Many of these funny analysis come from people who did not mobilize, who are not strategists, who have not fundraised for any money, who have done nothing. They are naysayers, skeptics, and cynics, demotivated, apathetic, and mundane, but they have all this wisdom of how things should do. We want to see you on the front line, sir and ma'am. I don't want to get mad here. Hey, subscribe to this feed. My name is Mordecai Maurice, and you're watching across the African continent and across the entire world. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Write down in the comment section. I would truly appreciate it. I saw international human rights lawyer Robert Amsterdam reposting my tweet and was able to grab his attention. Good stuff there. Please, if you find this information really, really important and vital at this particular moment, share it with people out there. Maybe somebody doesn't know that Bobi Wine is on the run. I've had people ask me. Let them know that he's actually been able to speak to somebody and he said, hey, I'm trying to stay alive. I'll see you very soon. Stick around. Bye-bye.